guys, my name is Lulu and these are my books. Today we're talking about tropes that can die in a hole for all I care. So I've been seeing a lot of these videos and I wanted to do my own, and I had a sudden realization that I had no idea what tropes were. So I did some research and I found everything that I hate in most books just put into like single statement form. And those are the tropes that I'm going to be talking about here today, because these are the things that really fucking bother me in books. Just saying. Especially when they are not done well. Books that I just, especially now in the era of like, oh, hey, trope. It sells a book, but it's not really the trope at all. Like at all. It's really funny. It's really, really funny. But let's talk. Let us talk about these tropes. These are in no particular order. First one is the thickest with 3 C's and a K of plot armor. It's like, why can't these characters just struggle? Like, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here. I'm probably gonna use Fourth Wing for some of these examples, because like Fourth Wing is the immediate book I think of where it's like where it's like Violet never struggles at all. Like literally. Like, I'm serious. I'm dead serious when I say this girl literally will just turn the tide of an entire battle just by pulling this one move that she remembers that she could actually do. I'm like, what the why? Why can't she just lose a fight, for God's sakes? Why? Like, seriously, I'm just like, but this applies to a lot of characters. Why can't authors just allow their main characters to struggle a little bit? Why can't they be more realistic in that way? Why can't they allow their characters to lose once? Like, I swear. What the? Anyways, here's another trope that I actually hate because it's never done well. It's never done well. Not that I've seen anyways. The world will end if we don't win, but there's no real risk. No, like, we can just keep our pace, keep our time. This one I'm going to use from Blood and Ash as an example, because swear to God, I genuinely, I've read the plot of that book. I have. But I've also read and watched reviews where people are like, yeah, it really doesn't feel like the world's gonna end if they don't do whatever. Because it seems like within this book, the author is more concerned with the characters either having sex or having discussions of their sex that they have than actually saving the world that they're supposed to be saving. That's the point of the entire plot. And it's like, I'm like, what? How is the world supposed to be ending? But y'all are just fucking like nothing's happening. That's always so funny to me. It's always been so funny to me where characters just pause in the middle of like their high stakes game to be like, hey, let's have a cup of tea. It's always been so funny to me. It's never good, but it's never bad. Like, well, it's actually always bad, but it's not that it's not, but it is always funny to me, you know? It's just one of those things. And this ties into this one, which is lack of feasible plot, because this is a trope. In mostly like contemporary and like romance books, there's never really a plot at all. It just like there may be like a starting incident to get the characters together to do all the things, but then the rest of the story is focused on like the aspect of like either their relationship or something like that, or like slice of life, and like there's no plot at all from that point forward. And it doesn't really make sense. There's no conceivable drama. There's no conceivable like anything to make the story interesting past the characters. And that's a problem. It becomes a problem when your characters are it becomes a problem when your characters suck. Like, the only book that I've really liked that does this, it doesn't really have much of a plot. Like, it starts off with not really much of a plot of anything, and then it segues into a plot. Looking for Alaska by John Green. He does that very well, where there's kind of no real plot, technically. But you can, but even within the slice of life, even within like all of the things that are happening with these characters, you can still conceivably feel that there is something going on. All of these characters feel interesting. And a lot of authors just fall flat on that. And that's just really it's really stupid. It's really, really stupid how people can just like not like make good characters and then have their stories focus around their characters at all times without any sort of feasible plot. And I'm like, what's the point of this? What's the point of any of this? You gotta have a backup plan. You have to. Let's see. Badass female lead, but make it cringe. So again, we're using Violet for this example. The only badass female character that actually fucking works, in my opinion, from what I've read, Selenia Sardan, or Aelin Ashford Galathinius Whitethorn. She's the only one who works, in my opinion, because she struggles. She has her moments of emotional vulnerability. She has her moments of absolute badassery. She does all of these things, and she feels very human, even though she's fae, but she feels very human, and she feels very tangible. Violet does not. Violet is literally supposed to, I feel like Violet is trying to be Selena Sardan. It's like, but make it cringe. Oh my god. There's this other book called Zenith that came out a couple of years ago, like several years ago, where people described one of the main characters as Selenia Sardan, but make it space. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, there are just female main characters that just, like, they just can't be, like, feminine and soft and whatnot and find their power in their femininity. No. They have to be badass assassins. They have to be badass fighters or some kind of shit. And they're always good at everything because a female main character can never be bad at anything. Never. But here's the thing about Selenia Sardan. She has her main character flaw is vanity. She's a very vain person. And that's really funny. And that's really good to me. Because it's like, it's not really arrogance. It's more hubris. Not really no, it's not hubris. It's not arrogance. It's literally just vanity. She knows she's pretty and she uses it to her advantage, but sometimes she thinks she's like pretty enough to do everything, and that's where she fails sometimes. And that's the good part. That's the good part of this. Because stuff like that is like where people know her, specifically with Arabin Hamel in Assassin's Blade. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't read it, but like her vanity is like in part what allows what happens to Sam allows it to happen. I'm genuinely serious about that. And like, that was honestly a really good detail if you're really paying attention to it. Just saying. But yeah. Most female main characters right now are like are cringe. Like, they're not even badass. They're just cringe. Because the author's trying so hard to like push the fact that, oh, they don't need no man and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, just make her independent. Like, literally, just make her financially stable. Like, why do you need to be adding all this extra bullshit? Anyways, next one. No sense of closure. I've seen this mainly with movies, but with books, it's even worse for me because there are some books, specifically like first books in series, second books in series, where there is no feasible sense of closure at all. Like, it doesn't feel like a specific arc has come to an end. It doesn't feel like the specific event has come to an end, and it bothers me. It bothers me so much. Like, genuinely, like, a lot of authors right now, like, they don't make very good endings to their stories. Like, Fourth Wing, again, as an example, like, Brandon going, welcome to the revolution, Violet, like, he's some sort of Blackpink reject. I'm like, that's not an ending. That's not an ending. You have to give me more than that. Anyways. Next is, something that I'm pretty sure all of you were expecting to see. Insta Love. Woo. I just listen, Insta Love is fine. Not really. It's not fine at all. Like, at all. But I am a fan of the Insta like, because it's just like, ooh, I vibe with you. And then that turns into love. Like, it's like friendship to love. Like, that's really nice to me. But like, if you're immediately like, I want to have this person, I want to have all of this person's babies, that's not okay. That's not okay. Because that's essentially what happened with Violet in Fourth Wing. I know I'm using her a lot. I don't really give a fuck. But genuinely, Violet is literally in the middle of like her own Insta Love plotline, where because she's literally looking at Xaden every second and going, I want you to fuck me. And I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, girl, this is not adding to the persona of a badass female main character. Chill out. You shouldn't be this horny. I'm like, it's just stupid. Insta Love in general is just stupid because that's not how this works. That's not how anything works. It's not realistic. Can you hear my dog? I don't know if you can hear her, but she's just screaming downstairs. I don't know why she's screaming though. I really don't. Dogs do weird things. Anyways, but genuinely, Insta Love doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Because it's not realistic. Like, how can you fall in love with someone and, like, not know who they are? How can you fall in love with someone and not know whether or not they're going to turn you into a statistic? Like, I just genuinely, I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm demisexual. Maybe it's because I don't follow within the, immediately go into relationships thing. But genuinely, I don't get it. I really don't. And this ties into the fated lovers thing. But I specifically hate it when it's fated lovers, but they hate each other, and essentially it becomes a botched version of enemies to lovers. It doesn't work. I've seen this in too many videos. I've seen this in too many books. I've seen this in too many book descriptions. Like they're soulmates. They're like fated mates or some shit like that. But the female main character hates the guy, and the guy is pretty much fucking obsessed with her. I'm sitting here, I'm like, what's the point? Because you're trying to do an Insta Love, but also an enemies to lovers where only one of them hates the other. Like, because enemies to lovers, they're both supposed to hate each other. Like, that's where the tension works. But you just make them fated lovers, and then you're just it's just it's really botched, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, I go, every time I read it in a book description. I swear to God. It's mostly on Kindle Unlimited, too. And I'm not trying to stigmatize Kindle Unlimited at all, but this is where most of these books are, and, like, it bothers me. It's just really fucking annoying. You know what I mean? Because it's like, pick a fucking trope. Pick one. Just pick one. Please and thank you. I beg of you. Anyways, next one. This one also you probably expected. Love triangle. But it's more of a corner. Because, let me say something. Love triangles only work where all three people love each other. Like, my best example for this is the Infernal Devices trilogy. Because Tessa, Will, and Jem, all of them love each other. Tessa loves both Will and Jem in their own right. And then Jem and Will both love each other because they're parabatai. And they've also been friends for fucking ever. Since they were fetuses or some shit. But literally, all of them love each other. And they all know that they love each other. And they can't just make it a throuple because that would make it too easy. Like, and that's where the genuine conflict is with their relationship. And I love it so much. But other books that try and do a love triangle. Like, I will say this right now. The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is not a good example of a love triangle. Because it's so obvious who Katniss is going to end up with. It is so fucking obvious. Twilight is also a really bad example of it. Because, again, literally, it's just Bella seducing a 15-year-old. And that's where the love triangle is. I'm like, but seriously, that's the only instance where love triangles work. Any other time, it's just a fucking corner. because it's usually the girl loves both of these characters, and these two characters don't know each other, or they're unaware that the main girl has feelings for the both of them. They're unaware that they're fighting, or they're aware that they're fighting and they decide to fight each other. And that's even worse. Even worse. And this also segues into my next trope that I absolutely hate. That insane person that the love interest always has to have to pad up the love interest's appeal. Why, this is specifically with male love interest, with male main characters, male love interest. Why on God's green earth do the male love interests always have to have that one crazy ex-girlfriend, that one crazy current girlfriend who has to be absolutely fucking obsessed with her partner just for no other reason than to make the male main character seem more appealing because, oh, he has the ladies falling over him. That's not cute. That's not cute. That's not good. That's not anything. It's not anything. I'm just why doesn't the male main character stand on his own? Why can't he cook? Why can't he clean? Why doesn't he own a fucking vacuum? That's how low the bar is. Just saying. That's how low the bar is. He just has to own a vacuum. I'm serious. I'm dead serious when I say in my real life, I was slightly turned on when a guy I knew revealed that he owned a vacuum and that he used it. That's how low the bar is in this world of dating right now. But no, he has to have all this baby mama drama. I'm like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants drama. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Unless you're me and you want drama just for the popcorn. But come on. Come on. Give me more. The miscommunication trope. This is an obvious one. But genuinely, again, miscommunications happen. But they should not go on to the point of one person literally just decides to leave the other and then they make up towards the end of the book. That's not no. That's just not good. It's not good. Not at all. I just hate it. Cause it's literally just in real relationships, if you want to make them work, you communicate all of your feelings. Genuinely and truthfully and quickly. Cause you don't just sit there and wait to get mad at your partner. You don't. That's just not, what's the point of that? I'm just saying that if it were me, if I found something that incriminated my partner, I would literally go to them and be like, hey, what the fuck is this? And let them explain until I feel either they're being truthful with me or they're spouting bullshit. Because then I know either I continue on with the relationship or I end things. Because I can't be with a person who spouts bullshit at me, who lies to me, but I will allow you to explain yourself as long as your explanation actually fits. You understand? But the miscommunication trope, literally it's just one word taken out of context and then you're literally ending relationships. You're literally fighting. Somebody gets slapped usually. I'm like, let's see. Love is always the answer. Akatar. I hated that one. I will be honest. The whole second half of the book of Akatar, with the whole Amarantha shit, I was literally sitting there what's the point of this? Sorry, my throat's dry. But literally, with Akatar, I was sitting there. I was looking at it. I was like, so what are we meant to be doing here? What's happening? What's going on? I don't get it. What's up with this? What's up with this? I don't get it. Because the whole Amarantha shit really just didn't make any sense to me. I get it. It was meant to be I get it. That was the stakes that they were playing with. And I get it. It's for the plot. But Amarantha's riddle really just didn't add anything. I'm just saying. Feyre just spends. Feyre in general isn't that great of a main lead, I will say. But she's pretty funny, and that's the only reason I really like her, because she's really fucking funny. I'm just gonna say that she's just really funny. I like Feyre just because she's kind of like comedic relief. I really do enjoy Feyre, and I enjoy her relationship with Rhysand. I enjoy it. I really do. But my point is, love is always the answer to these riddles, or to a problem. Love always has to be the answer to a very specific problem that doesn't really line up with the whole love thing. Cause it's just like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, it's usually in the stories of like arranged marriages too, or like just in general Beauty and the Beast retellings. People are always like, yeah, you can only break this curse if you get someone to fall in love with you, but you can't tell them that they have to fall in love with you and blah 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 blah, and make this harder because it's and then it segues into a miscommunication trope, because one person can't tell the other anything, and the other person is just like, you're keeping secrets from me and I don't like it, so I'm going away. And then they go, no. I swear, if I roll my eyes any harder, they will literally shoot up into the back of my head and straight into the atmosphere. I'm not even joking. Anyways, what's next? Disappearing parents. This one, specifically in middle grade, and YA, I'm sitting here, I'm like, these are minors. Where are your parents? And, like, usually they have an explanation. Like, usually either they're dead or, like, they're off on a trip or something. But I'm like, why would you leave your minor child without any supervision? Why would you not be tracking your minor child? Why would you not have any way of contacting your minor child? Like, why wouldn't you? Why? My dog. Anyways, I'm serious. Like, seriously, the parents just disappear. My worst, I was thinking about books for this, and, I couldn't really come up with any. I've seen it in several books, I just can't remember the name. However, one book that doesn't do this trope is the Percy Jackson series, because all of their parents are involved, because they're fucking gods. And Percy's mom is specifically very involved, because, literally, she's just kind of here. She's just out here. She shoots a shotgun in the last book. It's great. Love Percy's mom. But seriously, why would you just leave your minor, 14 to 17-year-old child just alone out in the world and just, not wonder where they're going? Why? I just don't get it. It's not accurate. Not accurate. Oh, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite to hate. Oh, I'm so broken and I can never love again. Oh, and who might you be? That's what I hate with every burning passion in my fiber, but it's so funny. Because it's literally you're giving someone a personality trait, and then you're negating the personality trait with the one thing that they're not supposed to do. I'm like, what the then where's the character? Then what's the point of this character? What's the point of this? What's the point of any of this? I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I just it's just so funny. This is just so funny to me. Okay. I need to stop. This is bad. This is really bad. This is really bad. But genuinely, what the fuck is with this trope of having someone who's so broken, and you spend pages and chapters and whatnot reestablishing that they're fucking broken because someone stole their French fry in middle school, and they can never love anything again, and then they meet someone completely average, and it's like, oh, I've never felt this way before for anything. I don't know. It's just, it's so funny to see. It's so funny because it's so cringe. I love it for the fact that I hate it. It's so funny. And then the opposites attract, but it's sexist either way you put it. Like, the best example I have for this is the promiscuous versus the pure one. Like, it's very sexist either way you put it. Because it's like, the woman is expected to be very pure, and the man is expected to be very, like, promiscuous and have a lot of sex and blah, 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 blah. But if you switch it, men, like, women are expected to have very high sex drives, and then men are also expected to, like, have some sense of self-control and blah, 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 blah. It's sexist whether you, like, either any way you slice this cake. I just, like, it doesn't really make sense, and it typically doesn't work very well, especially since they do it on both characters' parts. Like, it just doesn't feel realistic at all, because it's literally like, oh, the main girl is a stripper, and the other guy is a lawyer who hasn't had sex a day in his life. Or, oh, this woman has been focusing on her career and has never had a boyfriend, while this guy has been sleeping his way around town because he's a bad boy. And I'm like, nah, not into it, nah. And then, my last one, and this one is hilarious. Listen. Run from your trauma until you nearly die, and then reveal info that could have prevented the whole close call thing. It's really interesting. This one specifically happens in fantasy a lot, because characters, like either the male main character or the female main character, usually we're following this character is running from the shadows of their past. And they're like, ooh, I don't want to talk about it. And ooh, this is never going to affect me again because I ran away from it. And then whatever they were running away from comes to nearly kill them. And then they reveal to the rest of their friends and party that, like, yeah, this is information that I should have told you so that we could have, like, you know, not almost died. But I didn't want to talk about it because I was so broken inside. And I'm like, y'all could have died because you just didn't want to tell your friends that you have daddy issues. And, like, I get it. It's somewhat realistic because not a lot of people like talking about their trauma. But, like, if it's a life or death situation and you may just want to reveal to people that your dad is some evil overlord that's trying to overthrow the kingdom, like fucking Zuko. Zuko has major daddy issues. Zuko has some serious daddy issues. But he tells everybody anything that's pertinent, like after his redemption arc. He tells everybody that everything that's actually pertinent. Like, he doesn't just hide that, just hold that to himself. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Especially if you're in a fantasy world and you're literally, like, running from your actual definite past, and you're literally just sitting there, and then you're like, nothing could possibly ever happen. I ran away. I covered my tracks. I made sure that they think I'm dead. And then it reveals that that your country doesn't think that you're dead, and you're still like, oh, I can't tell you anything. You're putting other people's lives in risk here. Get it together. Anyways, those are tropes that literally could die in a hole. For all I give a fuck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. I post weekly on this channel, so don't miss out. Also, if you want to see more of my content, leave me comments down below. What you want to see on my TBR, what I should move up my TBR, what I should put on my TBR, and whatever you're doing recently, whatever books you're reading. I always get really excited when I see your comments. It makes me feel so happy and appreciated. Anyways, guys, I love my little Lumas. Bye!